Hi everyone, Alice Brown and Lady V here, bringing you our Wednesday update on things. We did not have a show this last weekend. Thank God, we needed the weekend off.
Severely.
Yes, big time. So we will be having a show this coming weekend in Mebane.
Back in Mebane, yeah.
Yeah, back in Mebane. So we're looking forward to that a lot. If any of you are in the area, please come see us. There are 2 shows in Mebane that day. We are going to be at the first one in the morning at the community center.
Yes.
From 9 to 3. We were not able to make it for the later show. Unfortunately, that is outside. Mm-hmm. So come
it pretty
see
much
us.
Begins where the first one ends.
Yeah.
And unless you have enough people where you could halfway set up at the second one, it's not going to work very well.
And we couldn't coordinate everything to make it work for us. So
but
next
we were
year.
going to check it out because my fiance and I will be there for the weekend, and we're going to go check it out and see who all's down there and what's being sold, and possibly might even consider it for next year.
Yeah, definitely. So, writing-wise, let's go into writing, update on writing, which has pretty much been non-existent. As many of you know, we're smack in the middle of show season. We literally have 2 more shows to go, and that's it. Yes. Our last one is Thanksgiving weekend. It's a huge show. Quite frankly, at this point, I'm looking forward to getting these shows over with so that I can delve back into the writing, because this has been very hard on me trying to juggle the 2 of them.
I was talking with a good friend the other day, and they're like, look, all you gotta do is make it through the next 2 shows, and then you have all of December and most of January to do whatever you want. They know that I want to, wrap up some classes on Skillshare, and they were kind enough to give me another company called Udemy that has a lot of classes. I want to take some classes on marketing, and that's one of the areas that I'm not the best at, and so I really would like to try and get a little bit better at marketing. We're wanting to look into doing some marketing ourselves kind of the beginning of the year, so we're hoping that if with doing some classes in December combined with the marketing we're going to do in January, that we might get somewhere.
Yeah, we're hoping. So we are not going to show you an update because, quite frankly, the little tiny bit of writing that has been done has not really managed to make it any further. But I will tell you that where we're at now in Ivor Mantis, we are so close, but we decided to put in a new scene, and this is where the hiccup has come in at, is because it is a brand new scene.
What were we thinking?
And I got stuck in the middle of it, and I'm like, where do I go from here? And then the show season hit, and it's just been one thing right after another, and we have not yet been able to finish that scene. We've got it. Yeah. We managed to get it maybe about a third of the way done.
We did work on it the other night.
Yeah, we did.
We curled up in bed and worked on it a little bit. I think we know where we want to go with it, and we've got stuff plotted out for it. It's just there's been a lot going on.
Yes.
A lot emotionally. Yes. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. I forgot to turn off the wash machine. So but anyway, as I was saying, there's been a lot emotionally going on.
Yes, there has been.
And in the middle of everything, including shows and trying to write, yada, yada, yada.
Depression.
Yes. Seasonal depression at the top of that.
Depression.
We are definitely going to be sitting down and doing the running a business with a chronic illness, part 2 of depression very soon.
Yeah, because depression, unfortunately, has hit me upside the head. It really came to light about a week and a half ago, and I have been battling it ever since. So
yeah, and then in the middle of it all, there was another cat dumped on our street. So she's actually currently in the back bedroom because it's too cold for her to stay out on the back porch. So we have her secured in our back bedroom with a kitty pot and food and water and a bed and everything.
Like she's 10 years old.
We took her to the vet. Yeah. Actually, my fiance took her to the vet.
Yeah, the chances of trying to find a home for a cat that old are slim to none, especially around here. So I think she's gonna, unless we can manage to find her original family, which
we're still looking.
It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But and if so, that's fine. But if not, I think she'll finish living her days out here with us. So
we might be getting a little bit bigger in our family. But today's video is all about what authors, or us as authors, need in order to sit down and write. And we're covering...
I'm not sure anymore. We haven't written in a while.
Well, we put our thinking caps together and went down the list of things that we know are kind of essential to us, both physically and mentally. So we thought we would share those with you today and give you a little insight on what all has to be put together in the household in order for us to sit down and get into that creative space, because it doesn't just happen magically. It does take some work to get there.
Yeah, and there's I love people. What you got a half hour? Why don't you spend it writing? Because I'm not in that right mind.
It takes me a half hour to reread the last scene that I was in that I got to go forward with.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the first one for me is silence.
Yes, but that was one of our top physical ones, was silence.
Silence. I know a lot of I know writers that can sit with their family in the in front of the TV and write while the family's talking and the TV's going, and I'm like, how? I have to be in a room by myself or with a Lady V, if we're writing together, in total silence. I don't want to hear a radio. I don't want to hear a TV. I don't want to hear anything at all.
Yeah, I know. I suffered a little bit this summer. I don't think you did quite so much, because your cave is at the other end of the house as mine is. But being out in the country, we have neighbors right behind the trees that we have in our yard that have four-wheelers. And it's like 3 or 4 kids that live with them. And those four-wheelers all summer long went nonstop.
Yeah.
And there were days where I could not get in that right frame of mind, because they were blaring so much. Or, they'd be out shooting the gun. They have BB guns and shotguns and whatever, and they're out there target practicing. And listening to that does not work.
No, it does not at all. It sends my nerves on edge to begin with. So, which just makes the writing, the whole creativity just go down the tubes.
So what's another physical thing, would you say?
The next thing is a snack and a drink.
I have my own little bottle here. I swear, I used to have those tumblers like Alice does, but I knock them over too much. So I got the bottle, and you have to press the button in order to release the top in order to get your drink.
But that is essential. I always grab either some a few pretzels or a granola bar, a
couple pieces of chocolate.
Or if we've got grapes in the house, or
grapes are one of my favorite things during the summer to munch on.
Really good. So that works out good. The next thing would be a comfortable writing environment. And
what is that for you?
Well, as I say, we have a couple of those in this house. We're sitting at our dining room table right now as we're filming this.
This dining room table has been through a lot.
Yes, it has. It's used for multiple things at this point. But
it is the dining room table. It is the craft table. It is the writing table.
Yeah.
It's the table that all the crap gets thrown on.
It is. It's where we hold family meetings most of the time.
Family meetings. Yep. If Alice calls family powwow, everybody goes to the dining room table.
Yep. Yep, definitely.
Including the cats. They sit on top of it and the dog sits under it.
But we have 2 office chairs that are very comfortable that we're not sitting on now over across from us.
I can't get both of them back here between the table and the bookcase.
But so if we're working together, that's one of our favorite spots, is right here. Because that way we've got the whole table to spread out notes and whatever have you. And quite often, if I'm working on a scene and I just need Lady V's partial input on it, she may be, editing a video or something like that while she's waiting for me to type and, waiting for me to do what
I will say real quick that I quite often will do that. I'll have something small on the side to do. Sometimes it's just crochet in order to do with, just have something to do with my hands. Other times it's videos, getting them uploaded, website work, stuff that I can do, but then when Alice is done typing and ready to integrate me back into the story and everything, I can take a stop, and I'm not going to lose my focus. So
now when I'm writing by myself,
she goes to the cave.
I go to my cave. Yeah, my bedroom, I keep pitch black dark at all times. I love it in there.
Yeah, there's 2 layers of blackout curtains in there.
Yeah, there is literally, and then blinds behind that. So, I mean, yeah, when we say cave, it is truly a cave. You go in and it's just pure black. I love it. But I have my desk in there. That is one area sometimes I used to write. Quite often I'll write in the evenings, and I love sitting up in my bed. And
especially if you're in the middle. I know, especially if you're in the middle of fibro flare-up, your bed is one of your best places.
Yeah. And so I'll pile the pillows up behind me and I can get really good and comfortable and just go to town on that. So that works out good. Another spot that you and I use together is the living room. Because I've got a nice recliner chair in there, and then our couch is also reclined, but I prefer my chair.
Super comfy. The couch is mine.
Yeah. So she sprawls out on the couch, and I'll sit across from her in the recliner chair with the laptop, and we get a lot of work that way. That is when Mr. Brown goes outside, and he's like,
well, that also only works when my fiance Brandon is not here, because his video game system is out in the living room. So there is no way to write in the living room if he's got his video game going.
No.
Because if you don't hear the video game, you hear that click, 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 click.
He's pretty good though.
He's amazing.
If we want to write, and he doesn't do it. So, and then Lady V, if she's writing by herself.
I have my own personal desk. It's in my room, and of course my room is at this point getting a little small, having moved my fiance down from New Jersey to here. As a few of you might know from past videos, we are looking to move within the next year. We're gonna get some bigger space, but right now everything's a little crunched together. But I have a small desk in there, and I like positioning it right in front of my window. I like to be able to look out the window when I'm writing. Quite often, Guardian, my cat, will love to come sit while I write. And so I'll open the blinds and he'll sit there and sun himself. And that's where I work most of the time. So that's my little comfort zone.
So the next thing that is mandatory for me, and probably you too, is comfortable clothing.
Oh, yes. God, yes.
When we are just here at the house and we are, I'm not going anywhere, it's a writing day, there's times I stay in my pajamas, people. I'll be honest with you.
Well, the last time we were up in Mebane and we went shopping, there was, at the Hanes outlet, or at the Hanes shop in the outlet center, I found 2 day-to-night outfits is what they called it, and it is literally these 2 lounge outfits that you could either wear to sleep in or you could wear it around the house, and they're so comfortable. I cannot wait for it to get cold enough for me to wear them, because they're like almost like a fleece. And so they're really heavy. I gotta wait for it to get really cold.
And as a matter of fact, comfortable clothing, that I've noticed even extends into our shows, which kind of surprised me. I started off wearing comfortable clothing to our outside shows. And then we decided to kind of switch gears this last show. Anyway, we decided to switch gears and try dressing up for the Greenville show that was indoors. And we dressed up 2 days out of the 4. We stayed comfortable for 2, and we dressed up for 2.
The first day where we were setting up, and then the last day when we were taking down and coming back home. And I will honestly say that I felt better, and I think I sold better the first and last day.
Yeah. So we've made the decision that if you come see us at a show, you will not see us dressed up to the nines.
I will probably be in an oversized t-shirt and a pair of leggings.
or a hoodie or a sweatshirt or something to that nature. Yeah, because it fits us. It fits us.
I know my fiance came out this morning while I was sipping on my cup of tea, and he took one look at the hoodie I had on, which is my Avatar: The Last Airbender, and just shook his head.
Okay.
I'm not fancy, okay?
So after we get our silence in the house,
our physical needs,
and our snack and drink, and our make sure we're good and comfortable in our clothing, and for me it's pop a couple Advil or something if I'm hurting and all like that, then comes the proper headspace, and this is probably the most important.
That's also the most challenging.
It is. It really is, because
you would think the silence thing is the most challenging, but actually this one is.
I sat down to write so many times and just sat there and stared at a blank screen because I just could not get my head where it needed to be. The characters were just silent. They were gone. They weren't around at all.
Well, there's a lot of things that play into that proper headspace and emotions and everything. One of which, for me, is if I wake up with a migraine, there is no way that I can put myself in fantasy land and, go gallivanting around with my characters. There's no way. Actually, I ended up having a horrendous migraine at the last show that we just did, the Greenville show, and that was the first time I've ever had to do a show with a migraine, and it was horrible. I apologize if it came across to anybody while I was there. I really tried not to, but I was miserable. By the end of the day, I had a little corner where my chair was. It was behind the mugs, and so at the end of the day, there was nobody there. I ended up just sitting down and I cried. Because I felt so bad. I felt like I had ruined the day. My headache had ruined the day, and it was horrible. It really was.
Yeah. But even when when we're here and we're trying to get writing, I know quite often if I'm worried about worried or even concerned or something else is on my mind, such as I know for this week I've had to go back and review shows to try to figure out, what ones we're going to look at next year, what ones we're not going to look at because they didn't pan out for us. What are we going to do in its place? Where are we going with this? Where are we going next year with this to try to grow things? Because the writing is only half of it, folks. Any writer that tells you that this isn't a business also, I disagree with him 110%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think writing is only half the situation. You have to figure out how to get out there as a business, as yourself. You're your own brand. And you have to figure out how to let people know that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's difficult. That is not an easy thing to do in this day and age. I have many times said that you cannot just take a book and put it out on Amazon and expect to make $1 million, because it won't happen. No, you'll be lucky to make $10.
It's like chucking your book into a tornado of
Exactly.
books.
It's like taking that book and just chucking it in a tornado, because there are so many millions and millions of books out there, your book gets lost. Unless you've got a huge following, and you've got a way of contacting them and letting them know when you've got new books out, you will never make it in this industry whatsoever. And so that is where we're at, is we're trying to get word out there and build our reader fan base and in our family and that's what the whole show season was all about for us.
Well, just to give a quick example, it took, we got back into the writing in the middle of the pandemic, and it took you that entire year to get through one book and rewriting it, because you were so worried with everything that was going on, and all the warnings going up and everything, and the the mandates, and then the shortages, and it was a lot to process and handle. And then we get past that, and we've done almost 5 books since then.
Well, we've put out a total of 5 this year.
Yeah. But writing-wise, though, how many would you say we've done just in the past year?
Oh, this year? Well, I had Vampires Among Us done, because it was put out, I think, in January or February.
Yeah, so that one took you the whole year.
So that one took all of 2020. We've done the other 4, though, this year.
And then we've nearly finished Ivor Mantis. So that's 5 that we have been able to finish rewriting this year, whereas it took Alice one whole year just to do one book, in the middle of the pandemic and worrying about everything.
I was stressed about so many things.
So when you're stressed and you've got a lot weighing on you, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's personal finances, personal relationships, family affairs,
health. I mean, holidays coming up. I mean, the list goes on and on.
It does.
I mean, we're human. We're people. I see prices skyrocketing, and I'm, worried about, how high my electric bill is going to go this winter, and how we're going to pay for it, and gas prices keep going up. Are we going to be able to continue driving to these shows? And food prices are soaring.
Oh, well, gas prices. You forgot the gas fireplace.
It's not even working right now. I got to get it fixed. Another expense to worry about.
Okay, so in other words, we have a lot to worry about while trying to finish writing the last book to be published January 1st.
And because this is a new scene, it makes a world of difference. If you're just going over stuff that's already been written and adding to it and remeshing it or kind of flushing out a scene, that is so much easier than when you're putting a complete new scene from scratch. It's, writing brand new, and that's where we're on in this scene that we have not finished yet. So once we get this scene finished, the book's pretty much done. Then it's got to go into edits because I haven't even done that yet. So I'm still keeping fingers crossed that I can try to get the book done. At this point, it's probably going to be the 1st of December because of the 2 shows we've got coming up. And then I'm keeping fingers crossed that we can get that book out the 1st or 2nd week, probably the second week
at this point. But
yeah,
we're still going to be right on cue, though.
Yeah,
it's just going to be a little tight, but we'll be on cue.
Yeah.
So if you, by chance, are a creative writer, whether you're published or not, drop a comment below and let us know what some of your must-haves are for being a writer and sitting down to write your work.
And let us know. Do you have some of the same problems we do? Yeah, or we just completely weirdos.
Well, I accepted that a long time ago. Until next time, remember that we are authors first and foremost, and we rely on you for support and to get the word out. All of our links are listed down below in the description for our merchandise and our books. And we can't wait to see you next time.
Yep. Have a great day.